nowadays.
Hello. I'm Ginger.
This is Dee.
And this is Chattin with CHAP. So good to have you here tonight.
Yes.
We are going to continue our discussion.
Well, tonight we're talking a little bit more about not being a lone ranger, and we're going to try to invite a friend in with us. Now, this could be tricky because I haven't seen her name pop up.
Barb, are
But
you there?
Barb, I hope you're there. We're going to invite a friend. I got to put my old lady glasses on, and we're going to try to find her, but I'm not finding her. Barb, are you on here?
Oh, it worked in the test group.
If you are here, Barb, and you want to request us, that would be fabulous.
Awesome.
Fabulous,
This worked like 10 minutes ago, everybody.
Sure
So I'm
did.
sorry we're
That's
experiencing
okay.
technical difficulties.
And we
This
were
is a different group.
We were so proud of ourselves.
We were proud of
figured out how to do a
ourselves.
split screen. Well, you know what? I'm going to keep working on getting Barb on here. But Ginger, maybe you could just share a little bit more about what the topic was going to be tonight.
So we're going to try and get Barb on here anyway.
We sure are.
But anyway, the reason we were inviting Barb on was because she's in the Pittsburgh area and she knows a lot about support groups and stuff. She's been involved with it a lot, and she does some organizing of it for CHAP. So hopefully we'll be able to get her on here. But what we're going to talk about here in finding your Tonto is different ways that you can join. Last week we talked about different things that you can join, but last week we talked about some individual things like people you can know or hang out with mentors and stuff like that. But tonight we're thinking specifically about Facebook groups, support groups, in-person support groups, and co-ops.
Yes, we are.
So
I still haven't seen her pop up here. She's not listed as a viewer. Oh,
that's
Barb,
so
I
sad.
hope you're
It's
there.
so sad. I think she is because there's 4 people on.
Yeah, but I'm not seeing who they are. I don't know how to do this. We're so sad because this did work in our
It
test
did, and it was
group,
so
but-
cool. Okay, I guess we'll have to keep going.
Okay, we're gonna keep going.
Aw,
First is,
sorry, Barb.
Barb, I'm hoping we can figure this out. If you figure out how to request to join, do it. We'll keep looking
We'll
for
pop
that.
you in.
We'll pop you in. But we're gonna keep talking. Okay, so you said a couple of things. You said co-op, you said support group, you said Facebook group. Like there's all of these things.
What is all that?
What
Do
is
you
all
know
that?
what that is?
Well, I'll share with you a little bit about support group.
Okay.
Because support group for me was key in the beginning of my homeschooling. I had a friend that invited me to a group. It was just a bunch of moms, homeschool moms, and this is support. This was not classes. No. Kids did not come. This was a once a month, just moms. We would go to this other homeschool mom's house. She happens to have had many years homeschooling, and she was also an evaluator. She was a wealth of knowledge. She's also going to be one of our speakers at CHAP.
Oh, awesome.
But I would go to her house once a month. Her name was Bonnie Griner. And we would go and we would sit around and we would share our struggles. We would laugh and cry and get encouragement. And I would leave there each month feeling like, okay, I can do this. I can do this. Because, and I don't know, if I wouldn't have had that, if I would have been out there being a lone ranger and trying to do this whole thing alone, I might have quit.
Yeah.
I might have. Yeah. So that's my experience with a support group. Ginger, tell me about co-op.
So co-ops, there's so many different ways you can do co-ops, but my experience, early on, we were in one that was enrichment, which meant you just went, it was like electives, like art class and drama and music and gym class and those kind of things, and it was kind of get moms out together and the kids out together, and that was really cool. But then there's other co-ops, kind of like the one that I'm in. It's kind of a mesh of the two, of academics and support groups. So there's like the math classes and the science classes and the English classes, and there's homework, and moms teach it, but it's just more of an academic flair to it. Now there's some out there that I know an accredited one. I mean, they hire their teachers. It is serious business. It's almost like a mini school. And there's some, my sister-in-law goes to one in Myerstown that I think they have 6 periods throughout the day and lunch period in the middle, and man, it is 70 families. It is big and has some stuff going on. So all different kinds of things that you can look for out there in a co-op. Now, in a lot of co-ops too, you help and you teach, and then you have a period off where you can hang out with moms, and it's like a mini support group time.
It becomes that support group.
Is great. Right. I know a lot of moms in ours were like, I came for the kids, but I found out that this is as much for me as it was for the kids.
That's right.
So many different things.
I spent years in that mom's night support group, but I also did join a co-op because I wanted some of those classes. You know, I didn't really want to do art at home, and there was just a couple of things when my kids were young.
Biology.
And then as they got older, that I didn't want to do at home. So I joined a co-op, and I found I got a lot of support there too. So really the difference between support group and co-op is more where your kids are involved, and there probably are some classes, whether they're more academic or it's more just enrichment, it can vary. So you have to check that out and see what your needs are and decide where the best fit is for your family. But Barb was going to share with us today also about Facebook groups. And I never belonged to a Facebook group, so she had a wealth of knowledge that she was going to share with you that I don't have. But she did share with us when we were doing our test video that you can go on and you can search. And then when you search and you find a group and you join it, along the side there are other groups you may be interested in, and that's one way that you can find the different groups. Barb also said that there are actual co-ops
that are online
and have,
which is amazing to me.
Yeah, so there are,
and they connect to do field trips and all kinds of stuff. I mean, you can do anything. There's a group, Pennsylvania, I can't remember what it's called, but I mean, you just search for it and you'll find it. But there's a group that has over 2,000, maybe even 3,000 people in it, and they ask all kinds of questions. So there's like supports like that, and there's also regional things, like you can find things that are just in your area in case you want to be able to do. Okay, so she's available now. We're gonna give it a try.
I can't find her.
Can we get her on?
It doesn't say.
She's watching.
Okay, but she has to request to join, I think.
Request us, Barb.
You know how it would be that green box?
Yeah, the green box isn't there. Keep trying, Barb.
Keep trying to request to join because we can't add you. It could be the settings of the chat page.
It could be the settings of the chat page.
Something we didn't know.
Sad.
But anyway,
Barb, you can if you can't get in on video, you can post comments on the bottom.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah.
But one thing you talked about were field trips. Another way to find support, to find like-minded people, to find other homeschoolers in your area is local museums and science centers and places like that. They often have homeschool days. So go to the homeschool day, meet up there. You know, you can say, hey, what co-op do you belong to? Do you belong to a support group? Or maybe just do our two families want to get together?
Oh, there's this thing we did last year, Pennsylvania Heritage Pass. And so they had a buy one, get one. So two families could get 2 memberships for each family. I'll finish what I was saying and then we'll have Barb take over. Yeah. But it was ended up being $37 for the year, and you could go to museums across the state for free.
That's awesome.
It was awesome. And then you can do it together.
Yeah.
The 2 families together, or you can meet up with other people who have the pass or whatever, but it is super awesome.
And well, this is Barb. And Barb, why don't you just, hopefully you've been listening maybe a little bit so you can hear what we've covered, but if you could just tell us a little bit more about yourself and then fill in the gaps where we missed.
If you know
what we missed.
Well, I think you've covered things pretty well. So I'm Barb Bideman. I live in the Pittsburgh area. I homeschooled my children all the way through. My older son graduated from Carnegie Mellon University in May. My younger son graduated from homeschooling high school in May. And my older son is now working on a PhD in computer science at the University of Illinois. And my younger son is in engineering at Robert Morris University. So anyway, and also I've led a support group in the Pittsburgh area, Family Instructors of the North Suburbs, for the last 12 years. And I have a younger mom who's taken it over this year, and I'm still kind of helping out with that. So Rick and I are on the board for CHAP, and we help run the CHAP Pittsburgh conference, and then I help with support groups. So anyway, I'm glad to be here. I'm sorry we figuring out how to get on, but I did get to hear what you were saying, and you did a great job. Yeah, I think your explanation of the Facebook groups was really good, and also I'm not sure if you mentioned this or not, but there are definitely Facebook groups for people who are homeschooling kids with special needs too, which I think can be really helpful. We have a Pittsburgh special needs homeschooling group that people can join. And I know there are groups like that in other parts of the state too. And I did actually look online last night just to see if I could find some groups in your part of the state. And I saw that there's a homeschooling in Southern Lancaster County. There's Lancaster County, PA homeschool families. There's the Hershey area homeschoolers. So anyway, some of those might also be like co-ops or support groups or whatever that just have a presence on Facebook. But I know in our area, there's an airport area homeschool group that is just on Facebook, and they have all their events and everything posted there, but they're very active. So it's great. It's great that there are so many different ways to connect.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, Barb, I think you had talked about when we were talking about this earlier, on our website, there's information. If you want to share a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, so if you go to chaponline.com/support-groups, or you can just go to the CHAP website and look under resources, and it's listed as homeschool groups. You'll find a whole list of groups listed by county for our state. So that's a great place to start if you're trying to find a group that you could join. And some of them are listed as co-ops, some of them are support groups, some of them are just email lists. I mean, in the old days, before we did all this Facebook, we did Yahoo groups. And so there's still some Yahoo groups out there.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and if you belong to a support group out there or a co-op out there, and you happen to go to that listing and you don't find your group, let us know, because we want to get as many support groups on that listing as possible so we can support all you homeschoolers in the Pennsylvania.
That's right. That's right.
Pennsylvania state.
We'd love to hear how you're connecting with one another.
Yeah,
How you
yeah.
found your Tonto. You can see there's a wealth of opportunity to find your Tonto out there. So my biggest advice to any mom, any family would be don't do it alone. Don't do it alone. We were created for community, and God desires for us to be in community and find support around us. He brings people into our life to help us through those hard times.
Yeah. So, Barb, was there anything else you wanted to share about how things look out there in the west half of the state, in Pittsburgh, or anything else that you'd like to chat about with Chad?
Oh, the only thing I was going to mention is that we had talked about connecting points, and there are lots of places in Pittsburgh that have homeschool days, homeschool events that you can participate in, and that's a great way to meet other homeschoolers. So I had mentioned that Phipps Conservatory has special homeschool classes, the Carnegie Science Center, the History Center. There are just all kinds of places that you can go. If you don't know any homeschoolers at all and you'd like to meet some, go ahead and look into some of those events that are open to all homeschoolers, and you'll meet some people there, and they can help you to start getting connected.
Yeah.
So there are lots of different ways that you can kind of get started and find your community with homeschooling. So do that.
Yeah. I mean, it can certainly feel scary at first. But I believe the enemy wants to isolate us, and I think if we just take that first step and just start making connections and find what it is we're looking for, and find our community. Barb just said it. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. Barb was talking about some things out in Pittsburgh. It's similar out here in the east end of the state with those homeschool days at museums, things like that. Word of mouth. Just chat with people, or these conferences that are coming up for National School Week, National School Choice Week. Go to the conference this next Saturday, or stop in at the CHAP office. Whenever you see something come up, pop in and
do it. Pop in and meet someone, and get that information. There's plenty of places to connect. You just got to find it.
Yes,
you have to find your place out there where what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Well,
awesome.
Barb, thank you for joining us. We are definitely going to have you back in the future, and I think hopefully we will have figured it out. We were so excited because we thought we had figured this out, but we'll figure it out for sure. So we're just glad that you were able to join us. This has been
Chattin' with Chat.
Good job.
Bye,
Good night.
everyone.